stay here and I don't have to because I have so many other people that are going to be doing that for me, okay? So right now, we are going to post the colors. Everybody just stand up, please. Post the colors. Hey. Hey. Once again, thanks for coming on over here. Everybody knows what Memorial Day is about, right? It's not like a party. It's not, the unofficial beginning of summer. It's to remind everybody here that we have so many people that are not with us anymore. And the reason that we are here, because they did their part, okay? So let's not just remember one day, This should be all the time that we should remember this. And before I forget, everybody remembers Bob Decker, right?
Yeah.
Right here, let's give him a big clap. Thanks, Ron. Good seeing you. Appreciate it. Okay, right now, let's bring up the Reverend John A. Califano.
Under the beauty of God's good and beautiful creation, as you're inclined and able, please pray with me. Ever-present God, giver of life, conqueror of death, we honor the memory of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice that we could enjoy the freedoms we have today. We ask you to bless them with everlasting light, peace, and rest with you. Grant that we may approach each day with eyes undimmed by tears and with hearts flooded with the sunshine of happy remembrance. Help us to recall the bravery, the courage, and the many attributes which made those members of the military, our veterans, true Americans. Give us faith in this hour to feel again the torch of patriotism. Fill our hearts with the inspiring hope of democracy that banishes the suffering and conflict that are all too common occurrences upon all shores of your world. Warm us with the spirit of true charity. Incline our hearts to justice. So broaden our nature that all might find shelter beneath the mantle of our love. Keep us faithful to the memory of our departed veterans. And may your grace and guidance bless us with the same courage they had and generously demonstrated. Amen.
Thank you, John. And now we're going to bring L'Oreal up here to sing the national anthem. I think this is the third or fourth time I heard her today, right? So she is in fine voice.
Oh, let's try this again. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly
streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, L'Oreal. Next, we're going to bring Patty Montone up here to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand, face the flag, put your right hand over your heart, and proudly recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me. Thank you.
Now, before I forget, I got to do this now, before I forget. Last Thursday, we had the parade over here in Rotterdam. Let's give it up. I mean, I know there's a lot of work to do, and it's a lot of fun. Let's give it up for all the people. Two people we even mentioned. Thank you, George Transport, Mr. Ken Marshall. Very good. Okay, I'd like to bring up Joseph Nestriani. He's a town council member. Joseph, all dressed up, looking pretty sharp here.
Thank you, George. And I want to thank a few people. I want to thank the Veterans Committee. They do tremendous work in organizing this event and the Memorial Day Parade. I'd also like to thank Megan Griffin, who does a phenomenal job on behalf of the town to help with these events and pull them off. I'd like to recognize a few people that are here. Town Supervisor Molly Collins, fellow Town Council Member Evan Christou, Town Clerk Diane Marco, County Legislator Holly Villano, County Legislator Eric Hess, Congressman Paul Tonko, and our Police Chief Michael Brown. Oh, and I'd also like to thank Receiver of Taxes and acknowledge Diane Mark. I'm humbled to be among so many of you who have served in uniform and those who serve our community as elected officials and as leaders and active citizens. We come here today to honor the bravery and sacrifice of the warriors who have defended this country with their lives, as we not only enjoy this beautiful warm weather weekend, but as we also enjoy peace on this land and freedom. The liberty that this country was built upon, that our fighting men and women pledge to defend, the freedom to live as free men and women, able to chart whatever path our dreams can imagine, the freedom to believe or say anything our intellect provokes, the freedom to do business with whomever we choose, and the freedom to enter the marketplace with ideas and innovations that improve our quality of life, generate the greatest economic expansion, and have blessed this land with tremendous prosperity. We have elevated our civilization as the greatest power on the planet. It is a shining city on a hill, a promise and a guide to civilizations throughout the world that freedom and limited government subjected to the rights of the citizen is a path forward for economic growth, prosperity, and innovation. Our rights are enshrined in the Bill of Rights, but they are also enshrined in nature by the creator of this world, and the federal government recognizes these rights as sacrosanct in our founding documents as the supreme law of the land. We have come to expect and take for granted the freedoms that we enjoy, peace on this land that we have enjoyed our entire lives. We have never had a military force invade our mainland, and apart from COVID, in our time alive, we've never had to endure a sustained attack on our soil. It is the bravery and sacrifice of men and women in uniform that by traveling to foreign battlefields have stood on the front lines for us. The courage and the valor of those who have paid with their lives sustain the freedom and peace that we enjoy. As we face the challenges of our times, cyber attacks, biological war, information warfare, we need to honor the memory of the soldiers that have stood up to fight, willing to pay with their lives. By honoring them, the virtue they embody, and the virtue of the United States Armed Forces, we will find the steadfast, unwavering spirit we need to navigate these rapidly escalating times. Again, I'd like to thank those that have served and paid with their lives. We remember them this weekend, and we remember them always. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mastriani. And now, this is the one we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. We have our keynote speaker right in front of me, Jesus Santiago. He's the director of the Schenectady County Veterans Service Agency. He took over, he's in big shoes, and we have Bill Frank over here. And this is, he's trying to do better than Bill Frank, right?
We try. Thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that sentiment. Don't put any pressure on me. I really appreciate it. Like I said, my name is Jesus Santiago, Director of Schenectady County Veterans Services. I'd like to first thank all the elected officials here out today, showing their support for our veterans and showing support for our fallen. Jenna Dermanovich eloquently stated, "What would you do for freedom? Are you willing to leave your family and friends?" Many have. Families have waited for their soldiers to come off the plane. Some never did. This is a somber day, a day of recollection, a day of remembrance for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice in our service of our country. Over 2.9 million service members, Marines, Navy, Airmen, Merchant Marines, and sailors from the Coast Guard and Navy have made this ultimate sacrifice. Either they came home in a flag-draped coffin, or sadly, not at all. Actions included in defense of this country and others for the right to have their own democracy as well. Actions included the Revolutionary War, Spanish-American War, World War I and World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, just to name a couple, especially on the frontiers and the FOBs all across this world. And yes, even the battles that we don't even know about. For many Americans, this is the unofficial summer, the breaking of summer. Barbecue of smell is in the air, pools are opening. It's rather easy for us to forget what this day means to us. And that's okay, that's our right to forget. However, people here in attendance today, we're gonna be the ones to tell those next what this day is really about. It's funny because I began preparing for this speech a couple of weeks ago, and I learned a lot, and I will continue to learn a lot, especially after Bill has retired from the job as well as speech writing and stuff of that nature. That it just started 3 years after the Civil War. After the Civil War, and if you go down south, you might get a little bit different history. That's okay, but we got one on our side. Because not too far from here, Waterloo, New York was the official birthplace in 1966 of Memorial Day. So, want another one, I guess. That's okay though. But one thing that was also pressed upon, that at 3 p.m., a moment of silence be observed for the fallen. So I will ask everyone here in attendance today to take a moment of silence, safely of course, for those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. And I will close with this to my brothers and sisters. Until Valhalla we shall meet. Until the pearly gates of St. Peter, we shall be holding hands together. Until Valhalla, my brothers and sisters, thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you, Jesus. That was very good.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, next. Uh-oh. You know, okay, I see what you're saying over there. Next, what we're going to do, I think you said 3 o'clock we're going to do that moment of silence.
That's on you. That's on you.
Okay, so what we're going to do is bring Bob Sherrod up here. We're going to do the wreaths, and at 3 o'clock we will do that moment of silence, even if we have to
Do it on your own.
do it in between here. Bob? Thank you.
Okay, we'll do the placing of the wreaths at this point. First one, Gold Star Mothers. We have the Boy Scouts here this afternoon helping. Blue Star Mothers. VFW Post 357. VFW Post 1895 and auxiliary. DAV Chapter 88 and auxiliary. American Legion 1091. Fence Post 35. Marine Corps League. Polish American Veterans. Rotterdam's Elk Lodge. Sons of Italy. Town of Rotterdam. Schenectady County. And all veterans. If we could give a round of applause to the Boy Scouts for coming out.
Thank you, Bob, and everybody else on the placing of the wreaths. Let's see, I'm not going to do this moment of silence. We still have 4 more minutes. I'm going to go over the 3 o'clock one that they're doing all across the country, okay? Does anybody want to come over here and talk for 3 or 4 minutes? Anybody got something to say? I got an idea. Mr. Taco, you want to talk for a few minutes? At 3 o'clock, we're going to do our moment of silence for everybody. And I know, yeah, we're going to, and I got the clock on.
It's good to gather with everyone here in Rotterdam, where we respect and appreciate the freedoms for which our veterans have fought, knowing that there were many who made the supreme sacrifice, who never returned from that battlefield. And their memories inspire us. They evoke within us a passion for embracing those who don the uniform and represent us in the battle of freedom across the world in all branches of the military. And this being the 50th anniversary of commemoration of the Vietnam War, it is so important, I believe, to say thank you to those who did not get the hero's welcome. So I say welcome home to those comrades from the Vietnam era. We respect all generations of veterans, but those who did not get that hero's welcome, the hurt that was instilled, the lack of respect and sensitivity to their bravery, their courage, and undeniable patriotism reminds us that in our democracy there is always a moment where we can utilize that opportunity to correct the wrongs of our society. And if we wrongfully responded by a coldness, by an insensitivity, a lack of respect for their valor and undeniable patriotism, we can now say thank you, welcome home, and use that moment in our history to define this untold amount of respect that is warranted to and offered to our veterans in this given moment as our military return home. So to all those serving us in this present moment in all corners of the world, we thank them for not only protecting our freedoms, but promoting our freedom to freedom-loving people around the world. We are a nation that is humbled by the service of these men and women who have donned the uniform. They're humbled by their efforts and their selflessness, their sacrifice, their ultimate courage, and certainly their undeniable sense of love for country. They have each penned their own personal love story in defense of this nation. That's what we draw to mind and heart here this afternoon, this entire week of commemorating Memorial Day, gathering together in that ultimate experience today as we officially as a nation say thank you. But as we know in our hearts, and certainly in our history, every day is Memorial Day. We represent a people that are thankful, that are free, that are brave, and we go forward based on the records and annals of history of giants, heroes who have served us in all eras of our history, in all decades, in all of the different wars that we have participated in, and certainly in peacetime. So we thank them all. It's an honor to be your voice in Washington to fight for legislation that responds to the needs of our veterans and their families. So let us continue to cherish their memories. Let's make certain that their spirit never dies, and that when we mention their names, they stay alive within us. An inspiration to each of us to be our best as we respond to the valor of their history to this nation, and to utilize those freedoms in a way that cherishes the right to assemble by being civil, the right to free speech by using words that build us, not divide us, using the opportunity to worship a God that we please. Non-believers, believers have their path. Those who worship their supreme master do it in different ways. That is the beauty of this nation, and we forever say thank you to our nation's veterans.
Right on schedule. Right on schedule. Awesome. Okay, well, we'd like to do, remember at 3 o'clock we're supposed to be doing a moment of silence, so if you all could stand, we're going to have a moment of silence, okay? Thank you. And now, I would like to bring up the Reverend John A. Califano again. For his benediction.
We conclude our time together as we began in prayer. God of power and mercy, you destroy war and put down earthly pride. Banish violence from our midst and wipe away our tears, that we may all deserve to be called your daughters and sons. Keep in your mercy those men and women who have died in the cause of freedom, and bring them safely into your kingdom of justice and peace. In the name of all things holy we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you, Jim. Now, this is something new we're trying here this year, okay? We're calling it free. Walter, just be advised, now Walter earlier today on the Vets Park, he tripped. He went to the hospital. He put the pressure on the nurses because he had to be over here, and that was him. Seriously. He was doing like Okay, now what I said before, this is something new. We're trying this 3-volley salute, and we're having Bob Serrata come over here and mention this. All new to me on this one.
Just some brief comments. This is the part of the program where traditionally, for years, we've had the Marine Corps League firing squad do a firing volley. 2 years ago, state legislation halted that practice for veterans. At this point, we're not able to do that. They passed legislation, but it did not cover veterans organizations. I ask everybody here, especially elected officials and everybody at this outing this afternoon, to contact your state legislators and ask that they bring back that honor to our fallen brothers and sisters. Thank you.
And now we'd like to bring Kathy up here. She is going to sing. And we all are going to be singing with her, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, real quickly here, just want to remind you, right after the event over here is the open house at Post BF 1895, which is probably a half a mile away from here. So don't forget that. And now we are going to retire, yes we are, we're going to retire the colors. Forward, hard.
Sir, pick the reefs up. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, real quickly.
Yes, sir.
I was told to say we have two benches over here for. We have one for Mort Miller, who is a veteran. I know he was also honor of that, and we have Josephine Menard. There's one over here for her. Also, don't forget your wreaths, please. Okay. And remember, next month, guess who we are honoring next month? We're going to honor that. Bob Becker, okay? Thanks everybody, thanks for being here. And don't forget Memorial Day like 24/7. Thank you so much. Again, don't forget your wreath.